Hi CC families, this is cycle 3, week 22, new memory work. We'll start with timeline, and this started with North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is a lot easier to say using the acronym NATO, right? And we remember a history sentence about that. But we're just going to sign the initials. So 2 fingers over your thumb is an N, North. Put your thumb at the end of your fist pointing up, and that's sign language A for Atlantic. Move your thumb in between your 2 middle finger or pointer fingers, right? So put your thumb in between there for a T. Treaty, and then an O for organization. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And then a K for your Korean War. Stick your thumb right in between your 2 fingers extended. The Korean War. And then we're going to do some quick signing for Martin Luther King Jr.'s initials. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, Martin Luther King Jr. And the Civil Rights Movement. This is just a movement across your hand. Jim and Elizabeth Elliot. Do a sign language E for Elliot. And then we're going to make an M for missionaries and make it go out from you because missionaries go out with God's word. Missionaries to arm with an E. This is like, we're pretending this is the equator, and this is an E for the country Ecuador, which is close to the equator. So putting our E right on the equator. Jim and Elizabeth Elliot, missionaries to Ecuador. The Antarctic Treaty. Antarctica is at the South Pole. It's so cold, so we're going to shiver. The Antarctic Treaty. The Vietnam, V for Vietnam War. And then U.S. astronauts make an R for a rocket and blast it off. U.S. astronauts walk on the moon. And I made my fingers just walk, and the kids said, no, they need to bounce because there's less gravity on the moon, and they are right. So let's see if we can practice that with the music.
Established now in Communist victory in China,
North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The Korean War, Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement, Jim and Elizabeth Elliot, missionaries to Ecuador, the Antarctic Treaty, the Vietnam War, U.S. astronauts walk on the moon. Very good. For our commutative law, commuting has to do with changing locations. Maybe your mom or your dad has to commute to get to work. That means driving from one place to the place where they work. So commutative law has to do with moving numbers and switching places. And we have a commutative law for addition, commutative law for multiplication. So here's what it looks like. Pretend there's a plus sign right here. I am missing a plus sign. So we're going to have to use our imaginations. But the commutative law for addition is A plus B equals B plus A. It doesn't matter whether we switch those places, we still get the same sum. And I will turn this around for multiplication. So the commutative law for multiplication says A times B equals B times A. Again, doesn't matter. You can switch the order and you get the same product. So that's math. So for history, we're learning about September 11th, 2001, and we're going to use our arms like the Twin Towers that were attacked and destroyed in New York City. Okay, so we're going to put one at a time up and one at a time back down. On September 11th, 2001, the World Trade Center in New York City was destroyed by Muslim terrorists, beginning America's war on terrorism. And so those are the motions. Let me pull up the song for us. On September 11th, 2001, center in New York City was destroyed by Muslim terrorists, beginning America's war on terrorism. Okay. For Latin, we moved to John 1, verse 7, the part that says, "This man came for a witness," and the Latin is hic venit in testimonium. And we just passed an egg around the circle while we sang it to see who would end up with it like hot potato. This man came for a witness, hic venit in testimonium. I went back and forth with that, and everyone really knows the Latin well because we've learned the song, the whole song, in our assembly time. And then catastrophism. Obviously, we need a cat astronaut in order to learn this word. So this is our cat astro, and someone pointed out I should have had a little fizzy drink here for the fizzy-fism part. So cat astro fism, catastrophism. And what is catastrophism? Catastrophism is the belief that the Earth's past geological changes were caused by sudden, violent changes in the Earth's surface. And that tune is What a Friend We Have in Jesus. All of our theories of origins fit into that song. And it's kind of like trying to fit more and more words into the same tune each week as we go along, which is fun, right? For English, we learned about the subordinate clause, which is different from the independent clause, which can stand alone. We had our Statue of Liberty with the Santa Claus hat, could stand on its own because it expresses a complete thought. But this week, subordinate clause, it's my submarine for my subordinate clause, and only has one leg. It cannot stand alone. So what is a subordinate clause? A subordinate clause does not express a complete thought and cannot stand alone. And we took turns passing this around, and we would try. A subordinate clause does not express a complete thought and cannot stand alone. And that was fun to try to just let it fall. So I'd be happy to email the pictures, the file that I used for the 2 types of clauses. If you would like to print them out and have them for visuals at home, I'd be happy to share those. Geography is deserts. I have my pencil pointer. So let's lean in close. All the deserts are kind of over here, and I'm trying not to get the glare on the map. Hi. Here are 5 deserts: Great Salt Lake, Mojave, Colorado, Painted, Sonoran. And that's to the tune The Bear Went Over the Mountain. So that's all the new memory work for week 22. So have a great week reviewing, and I'll see you next time.